price.
I'd call him first.
Huh?
I'd call
Yeah,
him
if we
first.
could.
Yeah, we'll call.
Yeah.
We'll call
Lease it and sell it.
And we can, yeah, we don't have to sell it.
Right,
Uh,
I'd rather sell it to a neighboring town somewhere than have an auction,
yeah.
but we
But
can.
to know the market, yes, if they want to buy it, maybe they, but anyways, it's an idea.
The next thing is, what's it worth?
What did we get out of the other one?
18.
That was in '88. I went to California.
That's right, that amazed us.
Did they get there with it yet?
Hmm?
Did they get there with it yet?
I don't know.
Sorry, they drove.
Slow. So, yeah, I don't know.
Well, we haven't been able to find out.
You think they'd be interested in yours?
Yeah, well, I think they're interested in almost anything better than what they got. They said they're still using it, so that means the one they got's usable. Just what its problems were, they didn't go into. I guess they all kind of knew, so they didn't describe those publicly. But,
One thing about the AC unit on top of that machine doesn't work very well.
No, I bet theirs doesn't have AC at all.
yeah.
The other
There's
thing-
an open station.
Sure, I wouldn't know that.
We parked it on Thursday last week, and we started on Monday, and it wouldn't start, it lost its primer. So, we're about an hour and a half getting that thing running. But, you know, it started right up this morning, so, what the deal was. But, mechanically, it's got some leaks. I mean,
Well, it's got some age too.
Well, it might be an
2005 or 6,
an opportunity.
Yeah.
Obviously, you wouldn't get full market rent if it's, obviously, a used machine, you rent one, you get one very nice, but there might be some, that give it help.
we'll call them tomorrow.
And the other thing, I was at Cameron Town Board last night, which normally meets our night, but they made a mistake advertising their public hearing for a community block grant. They're working on $500,000, and I went partly because I'd never been to Cameron, and plus it was on Tuesday, so, and I was thinking, well, if little Cameron can get $500,000, maybe little Howard can get $500,000. Howard's richer than Cameron, but it's for, well, dilapidated buildings, I guess.
You mean an urban cleanup?
Yeah, urban Cameron, yeah.
No, an urban cleanup is the grant. We need to clean up dilapidated
Yeah,
buildings.
yeah, to clean up and to put new roofs in. If somebody's destitute,
Oh, okay.
they needed people under the age of 18. The qualifications were, well, this lady from, there was going to be a presentation by a lady from the Southern Tier Regional Planning, and she presented, had a PowerPoint and talked about how you qualify and what they look at. It was people over 62, the demographics. They look at very closely the demographics, and the people under 18, and the number of structures that are deficient. So the Southern Tier, I think they paid $1,200 to the Southern Tier people to survey the town, both by mailings and by driving around and taking pictures and looking to see if Cameron, it was reasonable for Cameron to apply to this thing. And so she thought it was, based on their data. So now they are going to, the Southern Tier Regional Planning people, they will write the grant. I think for about $4,000, they do an actual grant writing. So I was interested, that was part of my reason down there. So I went down and heard Bob Manley's the supervisor there, and the meeting was pretty well attended, packed, in fact. But anyway, they had an unfortunate incident with their 2019 Peterbilt that was sitting by the edge of a road and over a sluice pipe, and the sluice pipe broke off and left the 2019 Peterbilt, which was their best truck, down over the bank and landed upside down. And the insurance people were very stingy. Mr. Manley used to be the Manley agency down there, so she had some intimacy with insurance people, and he was very disgusted. And I was going to ask him if they were spraying or who they were, but I didn't. Anyway, so he says we got to have So they're, of course, they're negotiating with their insurance people, and the Peterbilt people, when they got this terrible estimate, the Peterbilt people came to make a full assessment of repairs, and he didn't, I don't think he had that yet, they had just been there recently, 2 people from Peterbilt came to. So, Joe Lockery was sitting right beside me, and he elbows me, and he says, "You got any extra trucks up there?" I said, "Well, we're in pretty good shape truck-wise, we have 1 spare, right? 2 spares." So, it's just another little idea that they might, if they're gonna, if they can't figure this thing out, they're gonna be looking for a truck, some kind of a
Well,
truck.
and if they ended up fixing it, that won't be anything fast, I would
Right,
think.
right, and the box, they think the box, the Peterbilt people only look at the cab chassis, of course. The box people, you gotta come look at the box, so it's obviously a headache for them, and a real mess, along with the insurance mess. So,
Well,
anyway,
really, we have one,
There's-
we have one.
yeah, well, I thought you got one sitting up
Yeah,
here.
we got one sitting up there, the radiator, need a radiator, or, we really haven't looked at it. Antifreeze just running out of the bottom of it, so it's
That's
radiator or
the Mac.
hose, that's Steuben. The Mac is still in the shed, and that's fine, but we gotta put some money in that
Actually,
Sterling.
there isn't a
Anyway,
trade.
I told them that Fremont must have some trucks sitting around over there since they don't have any way to run them.
Well, they got a 95 Mac they were just talking about last night, putting up for auction.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's, we've got a few years on it, but anyway, Cameron is, gotta do something, so anyway, there's a couple of ideas for the future. Probably the rollers more viable, maybe. But anyway, that's all I.
Now, we did make a resolution to auction of trucks, right, last month?
Yeah, well, we've made a resolution to something about the,
Letter of intent.
letter of intent was all we did,
That was for the new
That
one.
was for the new one.
for the next one next year.
Right,
But did we,
we can do anything on our 2 spare trucks.
okay.
We're kind of waiting when the new one comes next
Yep.
year.
Yep.
Not get rid of the
Now, I
Steuben and
guess-
the Mac.
Would you be, if Cameron needs a truck, do you think they would buy one?
Well, they didn't really talk about it much, the highway superintendent was there, and they just talked about the big mess.
I guess,
They didn't talk about renting, buying, finding good used, they just said, hey, snow's coming. So they gotta, and I don't know what other trucks they have or what they have in their department down there, but you could call that guy, somebody, and, talk to him.
I guess, I mean, if you loaned him a truck, if we loaned him a truck, I guess you'd probably get some kind of contract with him or something, say,
Maybe.
all maintenance is on you.
Any maintenance and,
Or even, yeah.
and, you know, they carry insurance.
Anyway,
Any damage.
just an idea.
But, you know, I'd help them out. All they need is a truck,
Yeah,
as long as we get back.
right. Might be worth asking. Anything else?
We're doing good, I guess.
All right.
Yeah, I think we
Okay. Fire Department's monthly report, you have it in your packet.
I see that they have 3 floats for the parade. I think the Historical Society is going to have a float. So we have our permanently donated wagon. Isn't that right? Well, maybe we're going to try to do something. Trying to do a mural, a 9/11 mural. I think Alice and Ed Crop are getting a banner made.
We're staying with the theme for 9/11.
9/11, it's on 9/11, and so it's for 20 years, so there's going to be some hoopla around that, so we thought that would be our theme. Apparently air packs are $8,000 a piece.
Yep.
Are they fiber tanks? On the ships, we had these air packs that I'm thoroughly familiar with, having worn them. They were fiber, we had fiberglass or fiber, they weren't steel, they're much later. Is that what we're using, what they got over there?
the ones that are now are fiberglass, or is a composite of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the total value of those tanks? They're 70-some thousand, right? Isn't it, to replace all those air tanks?
Says 80,000 here to replace, has 10 tanks or 80,000.
That's complete, not just the
That's,
tanks.
yeah, that's the regulator, and maybe the face,
And
the hoses and mast
O-
too.
O- OSHA is pushing to, a personal mast, where something you can clean and somebody else can use it.
So there's no sharing of masts.
No sharing of mast.
Seems like they wouldn't need 10. I mean, you never use 10 at the same time. You could have 10 masks maybe, but not 10 units. Like 3 or 4 would do, and then you have the spare bottles, and then you
Are
have the
they-
spare masks.
Do they have to have, are they mandated to have so many?
No,
And are they-
everything else, they got, currently they have 9 that are certified for indoor firefighters, and we've got a couple new members, and once they get through their training and so on, Robbie figures that we'll have 10. Yes, they won't be at every fire, but they, at one
Yeah, well,
time.
it's good to have the men trained, but as far as the use at any one time, the extra bottles provide lots of time, but as far as the simultaneous use, that seems extraordinary that you ever have enough, we don't have any factory here. Have not, have, it says here 8 people are certified for interior, but I can't imagine having, at least with our, what we have, more than 1 or 2 actually. That would actually suit up and go into a house.
I don't know how many were in when TNR's fire, but there was, I know that the people that we had that were trained, we had at least 3, I would speak of, that were in there.
You mean down Bath? Well, yeah, 3, I can see 3 or 4, even 5.
Even in a car fire now, that they're pushing to have people in masks, because what's burning in the vehicle, so that's.
Yeah, you're down windows or something.
Yeah, no better than that.
So then they have to, what do they do when the bottle's empty? They have to have it, send it and have it refilled, or somebody stops by?
We don't have a,
Charging or filling station?
can't we fill it, but some of the other fire departments have portable cascade, or Robbie worked down the big flats, and he normally takes them down and fills them.
We had those air compressors on board ship, they run about 3,500 PSI. And we pump them up, and they got a filter, you gotta change
Don't
the
have to
filter,
wait.
you gotta log, and you change the filter.
Because we got all kinds of signs
So
posted.
I wonder if that's part of the number, and so that if some are down or refilled, they've still got an ample supply.
I can imagine the bottle.
And are all the bottles at the end of their useful life?
Well, it says here
Because
that
they've been pushing them
that
for
we are
years.
20 years old. Now, I don't know if they're stamped like a settlement here on the top. On board ship, we had to send them out. We had a service that came down, we look at them, take them away, and give us new ones, so we always had about 20 on the ship. But, somebody must have their
Do you
compressor.
know if those bottles have aged out?
The ones that we're replacing, yeah, they can't, if we empty them, they can't be filled again.
So all of yours can't be filled?
Were they all bought at the same time?
Yeah, unfortunately, they can't do it at the same time. But I think there was a handful of them that
No,
are
it
a
says
little
they
bit
got
newer.
6. It says right here, they got 6 that are serviceable, whatever that means.
But they
But
can't.
these new ones are going, what, 20 years, right? Something like
Yeah,
that?
they,
20
the
years.
tank life is now
So,
20 years.
but it's gonna be an ongoing thing, then somehow, what, the fire companies can share the tank, is that it is, or what?
Well, if
What's
they
the
got
deal
those,
there?
if they got the right fitting, I think there may be some universality. Some of the regulators could be different, but the fitting on top of the tank is the same, at least it was on the ship, that I'm familiar with.
any rate, it's a lot of money for a little fire department to come up with. It was-
Yeah, that's right. To have 10 packs, can't imagine ever using that.
No, it's big numbers.
They think the agreement was paid over 5 years.
Yeah, 14,000 a year. for
So they'll
70
buy
years.
them in stages, so they're not all coming due again.
The same thing with their travel gear. After so many years, it's all got here, whether you use it or not.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me, but.
Same with the tires on the truck.
Yeah, yeah. Crazy.
We'll get another 10 years out of those tires. Be happy.
Like our backhoe tires. I bought a pair up at Blazes for my backhoe because they were 35 years old. I bought a pair for $100 a piece up at Blazes not too long ago for my backhoe. So maybe ours might be worth something. Anyway, fire department report.
Supervisor's report.
You got 200, and we may have it in the clerk's report, $225 from the clerk, that went in the bank.
Court check was pretty low and not very busy this month, so it was $286. So, however, we did get sales tax check, that was $67,280.84. So that was
67.
that one in, English yesterday. Yeah, today's Wednesday, so one yesterday.
That was a quarterly check.
That's a
First
quarter,
Or second quarter.
second quarter check. I can't tell you how it compares to last year, but I don't think it's far
No,
off.
it's not far off. So that's 70 times 4 is 280.
We'll catch up this time.
Uh-huh.
We'll catch up this next quarter.
Well, they haven't gone down like we anticipated either.
Right.
So far,
When you're paying,
and statewide, sales tax is supposed to be up
$3.60 for
considerably.
gas.
Yeah, well,
That'll,
Yeah.
that helps, but
it's gonna,
it's painful.
Plus the internet sales now are all.
Yeah, that's
sales
getting,
tax.
that's getting taxed.
So we get about the same in sales taxes as we do on windmills. 67, or call it 70 times 4 is 280, so call it 275. It's about what we're getting out of the windmills.
So that is all I have. Building inspector's report. Didn't have anything from Brad. Justice report, I believe, well, I have one. I didn't make copies, it was pretty short. $286, it was very short.
Just 2 cases. Doesn't say what they're for.
So another thing, we had talked about that electric service over on the park. And I did get a quote from that Schuler Haas, $1344. And that is,
$1,344.
yep. Includes the following: VFDs, control devices, breakers, motor starters, transformers, cable tray, premium time. And that is repair and replace any cabling to short or damaged. They did say, I guess, that there are some upgrades coming in the building code with this, and or maybe some that aren't even quite here yet, they're incorporating that in. So,
Is that all gonna be underground?
Motor starter? What motors do we have?
I'm just reading. We don't have motors.
That's one of those push button solenoid.
So-
Motor starter sounds like to me.
It's asterisked, but I don't see anything that's means an asterisk. They all are, I guess, so. But, yeah, that was gonna be run through the
Parks and recreation.
no, it was anything they gotta run is underground.
Oh.
And,
And they're gonna dig.
no, they're gonna probably feed it right back through the pipe that's underground. I wouldn't think they'd dig that up, no.
Just walk onto it.
You know, pull it through. But a whole new box, and because that was, that's what they said last year. they
Is
were
that,
gonna do.
was that water damage? Is that gonna be a waterproof, or is that thing covered or somewhere down
It's
there?
got a cover on it, but it was, I mean,
I
in
mean-
the sixties, that park went in, wasn't it? And
No,
the park did, but the electric went in probably when the pavilion went up.
oh, yeah.
I can remember, that was probably built in the early eighties.
park was named for Carl Willis. When did he die, did you know?